Uh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just listened to a bunch of videos. And there was a reason why I called these jokers democrats. Hey, one party is worse than the other, and this is. Oh my goodness! So you mean to tell me this same joker who did not want to open the government to give illegals more money, 1.3 trillion, that Obama spit out of his mouth while he was in office, and that another chick on the Democrat side was taking piano lessons during a congressional hearing from Creepstein, and this joker was taking money from Creepstein during his campaign. For the mystery of iniquity is already at work. That's a lot of work. That's nasty work. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Now, I also want to bring something to your attention as well. I'm going to put this up on both channels. This is what I've been saying that got Charlie packed up. His last podcast, Israel is involved in this too, ladies and gentlemen, that he called Creepstein an Israeli puppet for Yahoo.com, and that Creepstein was on the Mossad payroll. And go back before that, Miss Kirk, Miss Captain Kirk, in her Romanian Children's Fund rescue mission, was possibly, and she's being looked at and possibly investigated for trafficking the babies through her Romanian situation to Israel. Now, it was national news a couple years ago, folks, that they got busted, rabbis in New York, and cameras and everything were rolling, where they were running children underground, mattresses, the whole thing. They busted a bunch of rabbis. Now, this is what Charlie was trying to speak to, and Yahoo told Orange Juice Jones, tell your homeboy to shut his mouth. But Charlie wasn't shutting up. Then that's when the threat came in that alleged book. The acronym was the Jewish Committee for Democracy, and they offered homeboy a bunch of money. He turned it down. Hey, well, come on over here to Israel. Let's get you re-educated. And he said no. And then they packed him up. Oh, the rabbit hole runs deep. And as soon as they packed him up, she took over. And oh my goodness, folks, this could bring down the whole shebang bang. The whole shebang bang. Now, I keep telling people, if this grocery list has fruits and vegetables removed off of it, it's shenanigans anyway, okay? Shenanigans. We are talking about a scandal. And let me tell you something else. Diddy ain't getting out of jail. They just slapped another charge on him because why? Diddy was a lapdog in this whole situation. Rumor has it, and it's lightweight confirmed, that Diddy was a CIA agent. That's the reason why he stayed free for so long. Okay, yeah, he was a billionaire, but he was a funded billionaire. Okay. So, we already, well, most of us know, because it didn't came out now. He had Biggie, his own artist, killed. He had Tupac killed because they were going to bring out information So all of these wicked jokers. Now you got the Hillary Clinton is obligated. It's going to be a whole lot. See. The wheat and the tares. Okay, and the tares are being bundled. And I said months ago that they're being bundled together by their sins, transgressions, and iniquity. They are being identified right now. And if you have spiritual eyeballs, you should be able to see this. Now, the document is on Orange Juice Jones' desk for him to sign it and release it. But there's a small part of me that thinks that some of these jokers have been given time to escape to their bunkers. Well, we already know the Word of God says they will be hiding in their bunkers. Okay, soon and very soon. And they're going to say, hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne. Okay? All of these jokers who publicly talked about building bunkers, these top 1%ers, billionaire, trillionaire folk. My goodness, this is not looking good. This ain't looking good. Okay? And bro, you've been on TV, Mr. Hakeem, okay? Were you a part of the Haktua crowd as well? You've been on, and then when they ask Walmart Obama all kind of questions, he just does his best flea market explanation. He won't answer questions. He deflects, but you can't walk yourself out of this one. Because this is documented evidence that he was taking money after even CNN, the most left party of all the media. Okay, the white chick with the brown hair, she roasted this boy today. Okay, she said, "Do you think it's appropriate for old girl to be taking text messages while she's in a hearing after he was what?" And then his answer was just terrible. You know why his answer was terrible? Because it's coming out in this video right here. I ain't playing none of this video because y'all can go look it up. They can't hide it. When CNN, who's supposed to be on y'all side, okay, is coming after y'all, it's wraps. It's game over. Okay, I believe that these left folks, we're gonna see some false flags. We're gonna see some stuff that's gonna happen, and I just keep hearing in my spirit, while y'all all looking at this, there's something else going on somewhere else. Okay, there's something else. Why did NASA release them Walmart Dollar Tree pictures of 3-Eye Atlas, and they got the most powerful telescopes or whatever you want to call them in the world, and then they release some garbage? See, none of this stuff is making sense no kind of way. You got tomfoolery over here in government, and then NASA T- Satan is releasing these grainy 2005 10 megapixel camera images of 3-Eye, and you got independent people who got their own telescopes in their backyard taking better pictures than what NASA is releasing. What else is getting ready to happen? Give me another distraction that's possibly getting ready to happen. None of this makes sense. All this time, you've been pushing that Orange Juice Jones, he's guilty. And then right on the surface, CNN, y'all supposed to be y'all's the Clinton News Network. You know what? Since they y'all remember back in the day when Cobra 91 hit, they was roasting Trump. They was getting their highest ratings. But since that ain't working no more, let's turn on our own people and let's bring them on TV. And let's blaze them, just like she did Hakeem today. And then you got a chick sitting up, and she asked this dude, "Hey, what about your homegirl? Why was she taking text messages? Why are you taking money? Why was you taking money from him?" Okay? Why is Obama stuff being uncovered? Oh my goodness. Goodness. That's all I got to say, folks. And this is just the regular news. But it's funny that everybody that support these jokers on Trash Book and Instascum, they silent. Just getting crickets because this is information that cannot be hid anymore. It's coming out like Diana Ross. I want the world to know I'm coming out. Boy, the Lord said there is nothing done under the sun that y'all thought y'all was going to hide that won't be revealed. Come on, man. What? You can't say that God is not showing us what's popping so that you can stop picking political sides and pick God's side and repent. Okay, Deuteronomy 30:19, y'all know I'm always quoting that. Okay, what did he say? I record this day in heaven against you. Choose life. You can choose death, but ooh-wee, y'all.
Also show that a House Democrat colluded with Epstein during the 2019 oversight hearing to discredit witness with a vendetta against President Trump. And unsurprisingly, Democrats have been silent about their colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. Effort invited Epstein to an event or to, and unsurprisingly, Democrats have been silent about their colleagues' coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch.
Over her contact with Jeffrey Epstein failed inside of the House. That's because moments ago, lawmakers rejected a resolution to censure Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett, she represents the Virgin Islands, for texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a 2019 hearing that featured Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. These were texts that were among the 20,000 pages of documents the House released last week, and they show that Epstein texted Stacey Plaskett saying, quote, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, referring to Trump's longtime assistant, Rona Graff. Plaskett responded, quote, Rona, and then asked, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? Epstein replied, that's his assistant. A few minutes later, Plaskett asked this.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
A minute after Plaskett wrapped up her questioning there, Epstein texted her, quote, good work. The text exchange comes just 3 months after the Miami Herald published its investigation detailing Epstein's abuse of young girls. And tonight, House Democrats are fiercely defending Stacey Plaskett, with the leader, Hakeem Jeffries, calling the censure vote a political stunt, as Plaskett is echoing that defense and denying that Epstein had any influence on her questions.
They've taken a text exchange which shows no participation, no assistance, no involvement in any illegal activity, and weaponized it for political theater. Because that's what this is.
And my source tonight is the Democratic leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries. And thank you, sir, for being here. Obviously, a lot of movement up on Capitol Hill today. And you heard Stacey Plaskett there. She was arguing her texts with Jeffrey Epstein were not illegal. But in your view, were they appropriate?
Well, Stacey Plaskett is not accused of violating any House rule, any law, any statute, and she's clearly and unequivocally denounced Jeffrey Epstein. And I think what the survivors fought for today is the type of transparency that came out of the House, went through the Senate, and is now on its way to Donald Trump's desk, where hopefully he'll sign it into law, because at the end of the day, All the American people are asking for is just the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, which is why these Epstein files that Donald Trump and his administration has been hiding for months need to be released.
But do you think it was appropriate for her to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein 11 years after he pleaded guilty to...
I mean, I have not had a conversation with Stacey Plaskett to discuss this issue because we've been focused today on making sure that there was a decisive vote as it related to the Epstein files and the release. I'm thankful for the work of Representative Massey, of Ro Khanna, but most importantly, the survivors.
Do you plan to talk to her about it?
I think that we successfully defeated a resolution that lacked any basis, was not credible, and was being brought by an individual who was trying to weaponize this issue to reinvigorate his own failed gubernatorial campaign in South Carolina. It was rejected on a bipartisan basis on the floor today. That's the end of the story.
Mr. Jeffrey. Why should Americans trust you and House Democrats on the Jeffrey Epstein files when one of your own, Congresswoman Plaskett, was found to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing, getting information from him, using that in her questioning during a congressional hearing, and at one point he tells her, "Good job."
This is a bipartisan effort to make sure that, consistent with what the survivors have requested, that there's full and complete transparency, and every single predator who may be in those Justice Department files